everybody, welcome back. Wingman's Hangar, episode 37. That's right, 37 episodes. Bringing everything Cloud Imperium to you. If you're new to the show, this is a little ditty about everything to do with Star Citizen and the creating of the game Star Citizen, Squadron 42, the team Cloud Imperium games all over the planet, kind of giving you an inside look at what we're all about. We've got a pretty busy show this week. We've got the week in review. We've got forum feedback with your videos and questions. We've got wide world news, tidbits from the world at large. And we've got a roundtable kind of taking a look back at how Crunch went for bringing the hangar to you. Well, a lot of people spent a lot of time in various offices sleeping under desks to bring that out. And we want to talk a little bit to them and get their feedback, you know. All things Star Citizen, right? Let's get right to it. What happened this week? Well, we got a little video to show you. Take a look at this Void Alpha video of Terra. As you can see, this is a work in progress where we're taking one of our planet-side locations and creating areas for people to land, go in, see shop owners, check out bars, get missions. This is going to be indicative of the type of planet-side surfaces you'll be able to see. This is very early work in progress. We don't have a lot of set pieces in there. This is more about layout and look and feel before we get into building out the various locations. There'll be so many different planet-side locations that this is kind of step one or step two. We've got a few teams doing this. We thought it'd be fun to show this to you, especially since I saw it earlier this week at a certain event that we'll talk about in a little while. Also, let's talk a little about the hangar. Well, we launched the hangar last week to massive fanfare, and guess what? We did not crash our website. We did sort of have some server issues with people getting it, but you know, that's to be expected. Everybody tried to hit the server at once. We had to take the crimp off the hose, so to speak, so everybody could get it. We have at least 6,000 new people that have joined in the last 3 days. It's amazing. There's more and more citizens coming online. It's going to make the community, and it's going to make the game itself much richer environment with all these different people that'll be there. So, you know, welcome to the new folks. If you're new to this show, welcome. And we apologize in advance for what you're about to see. Also, our server traffic. Take a look at this graph. It was pretty amazing. Look at that. Crazy how much it spiked right there. You know, it's incredible. You guys continue to blow us away. 2 new programmers started in the Santa Monica office. We had Brandon Evans and Mark Abent. They started this week. They're going to be primarily right now working on the dog fighting module, which is going to be led by our very own Christopher Roberts. You know, it's very important. We've got that coming up at the end of the year, and so we're building up the team there to help bring that to you. And oh my God, you know what it's time for? Wingman's weight. Yes, I started at 236 glorious pounds. At one point, I was down at 211, but last week, after Germany, just to be fair, after Germany, I'd gotten up to 216. Where am I now? Well, back on the right track. 215. I suspect it'll go down a little faster because I'm going to start adding in exercise. Yeah, I know. Not looking forward to that either. But I'm going to do it anyway. So what else is going on this week? We have finally, it looks like, gotten some progress on our new office negotiation. We thought we had a building already procured, and some big corporation come in and swooped it out from under us. Apparently, somebody who's been in business for 20 years is better risk than we are. We've only been in business 8 or 9 months, even though you guys know how cool we are, right? 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 Anyway, that place stunk anyway. Don't suck, right? So where we got a whole new place. We're pretty much very close to agreeing on terms. Chris has given his stamp of approval. He's seen it. We like it. It's just now down to the crossing the I's or crossing the T's and dotting the I's. I think we're going to be pretty good. So looking like we'll be moving in sometime in October, and we'll bring that all to you. We'll show you what it's like, and I think you guys are going to like it, especially some things for the visit. There's some cool things there for the visits. Well, not only did we have an amazing event in Germany, which you guys have seen a little bit about. You saw the post yesterday. If you haven't seen it, you've got to check out the Comlink post about the live event. Mike cut together bits of fan videos and bits of our own videos to give you a nice look at the live event, which is amazing. It was an incredible experience. But our own Benjamin Lesnick and Dave Haddock went to DragonCon. So we thought you guys might like to see what that was about. So guess what? Come on in, Ben.
Hey there, Wingman.
Come on in, man. Scooch in. Get a little close. Don't lean in. Just scooch in. So you were in DragonCon this week.
Yeah, we were in Atlanta last week. It was amazing. Dave Haddock and I, we just had a fantastic time. There were citizens everywhere. We saw them wearing the shirts. Other people begging to get shirts because they couldn't get them yet.
We do need to get some more shirts, and those will be coming. What Sandy's working hard on that. So
absolutely,
I know that's it's a big want from people out there.
We had a Star Citizen panel. Dave and I were thinking it would be, a room with a couple people in it, and people waited for over an hour. Standing room only, 350 people in there. They turned people away at the door. It was amazing, and it was just a great audience and a great time.
It's shocking, isn't it? I mean, the fans have been amazing everywhere we go, and I think we continually underestimate the passion that they have. I mean, we all know we have it, but clearly it's not just us.
It's just unbelievable walking around a convention and having people come up to me and go, "Oh my God, you're Ben Lesnick."
That's
wow.
Cool. So now you're newly married, and your wife's probably like, "Yeah, whatever." But that's what wives are for, it's more fun to be out there at the DragonCon. So how long you got a panel? Was it an hour long?
Hour-long panel, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you and Dave took it on. Now Dave is
our lead writer, Dave Haddock.
Right.
He's responsible for pretty much all of our fiction. He's amazing, and the fans loved him too. I got to give a shout out to the team at Mog Nation who set this all up for us. They let us use their booth on Saturday. Just a great group of people. One of them put one of our Star Citizen temporary tattoos on his head. They treated us right.
That's very cool, and and we'll be doing more and more of these events. You and Sandy will be organizing things to go around. I mean, it seems that getting out with the community is a really big, important part of what we're doing here.
Yeah, now that we know how great our community is, we're going to get out there as much as we can.
Exactly, and so it's awesome. Thank you very much for the report. Now, what else are we doing this week? Patching. We're doing a lot of patching for the hangar. Now, for those out there who don't know, some of the patches will be, just incremental fixes to things that we're reading about in the forums. Making walls reappear after they might have disappeared after a while. Just little things that matter to the patch. There'll be other hangar releases, though. There'll be a difference between patches are becoming a lot. So, if you haven't played with your hangar in a while, you might want to turn it on every day or two and see what's up there because things are always being patched. But every now and then, we're going to have a pretty big, I wouldn't call it maybe another release or some big events or big...
Yeah, we've got some cool stuff in the pipeline.
Cool stuff in the pipeline for the hangar. In fact, the hangar is the first foray, the baby step into our universe, so we'll continue to grow off of that organically into different directions. In fact, that brings us to a point. The reason we have the hangar feedback thread, which maybe be here if we can get Michael to put this here, is we want your feedback on what things you'd like to see in the hangar, because now we have a hangar live team. We're breaking up into pods. We've got the dogfighting pod, the hangar live team, the integration team, the planet side team, the first person shooter team, just a lot of different things. And we're all obviously working together. I mean, it's kind of like we all cross-section each other, but there are people that are dedicated to certain portions. And while that's happening, there's now a hangar live team, and we want to know what you guys want. In fact, you guys might want something like, I don't know, this.
Was awesome.
That was cool. The best part of that might have been the awesome sound effects that Galloway clearly had put in there. Okay, we had a little fun with that, but
quality effort. Quality.
We actually recorded that today. We had Forrest put it together, and we thought that was kind of fun. So, but we are looking for things for you guys that you want to see in the hangar because it'll help drive our direction as we've always talked. We're doing this together. So, Rob, guess what time it is?
It's time
for
forum feedback.
Yeah, that guy's back again.
He's always around.
I know, it's crazy. So let's get right to it. I think they've got some good questions this week. Right from Horace, is there any artificial limit on guild size, or can I bring as many fans as I like into my guild?
Well, that's an easy one to answer because we don't know yet. My guess is that we won't have limits necessarily, but we may make you organize it a little more as the guild's getting bigger.
Maybe
But-
squads or something of that
Yeah,
nature?
we've been working a little bit on the nature of guild tools and everything recently, so we're getting there, but we're not sure just yet what we'll be able to do.
Well, I mean, the number of people in your guild, you can have as many as you want. But that doesn't mean you can all be in the same instance and stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. And your org chart could look messy.
A messy org chart. Well, you know how that is. That can be all over the place. From John Shepard, he sent us this video.
I've got a question for you while I hitch a ride on the underside of this pirate carrier. Do you like the idea of hosting an in-game radio to keep us Star Citizens company on our long journeys? Oh snap, they detected my transmission. See you in the verse.
Why, an in-game radio, you say? Why would you ask?
As long as it doesn't suck.
Don't suck. You know, we've talked about, we're going to have some sort of content for the universe, what that is, whether the Hangar Show transitions over to that or whether we create other new content. There'll be definitely something that goes, we'd like to track the lore and create something around that. So you guys will help us do that too.
Yeah, and that's a lot of content because remember, slow communication, which means a station can't broadcast to every system. So we're going to need a lot of stations.
A lot of stations. Wow.
Fans,
pony up.
let's go.
From Thor, he says, will shields have an area effect? Is it possible to terminate a shield only on the back or front of a ship?
Okay. I think I see what they're asking.
Okay,
here.
yeah, sure.
So shields, if you think about Wing Commander, it used to be front, back, left, right
Sure,
shields.
sure.
Well, we've expanded that a little bit, so now you can get just a bubble shield that is only one surface. It has a little more damage potential for the whole thing. And so that can be shot from any direction. But then there's also two-phase shields, four-phase shields, and actually if you look at some of the ones that are already on the ships, they're different numbers of faces. So yes, you could take down the shield in the back of a freelancer, for instance.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Now, the energy can be redistributed if you're actually, so like if you were getting shot from the back, could you then move your shield more power to that, or if you have that control mechanism? Or?
Shields rear, yes, of course.
Well, there you go. So there's both offensive capabilities in regards to that and defensive capabilities, which is pretty cool. From Mr. Big, I would like to fund Star Citizen more in the future and would consider upgrading my Aurora pledge to freelancer level. Will participating in any of the test modules prevent me from being able to reclaim my package and upgrading it to something else?
Well, we appreciate the backing in the first place.
Absolutely.
That's
Thank you
awesome.
very much for that.
Thank you.
Yes, you can upgrade your
Sure,
package.
upgrade anytime you want.
Yeah.
But we are eventually going to lock down things. They'll become attached to characters in the game. But of course, we're not to that point yet. It's going to be a while before we do that.
And you will announce that.
Yeah,
that's
long
not
in
something. Yeah,
advance.
that's not something that would just happen. We will make
Surprise!
yeah, well, that would be bad. That would be bad. That
It would be very bad.
we would get that out early before and let you know. So, from I don't know how to say this name. Can you say Verigar? Vrekgar. Is it possible to modify the window of a cockpit to go from something like this, it's all the bars, to something like this? Oh.
Well, that looks better.
Well, that's an interesting question. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think there's probably going to be another pass on cockpits at some point. Because, I mean, I have to admit that the view area is not very big on some of our cockpits. And I think we are all aware of that, and we want to do something about
There
it
you
at some
go.
point. We've just been a little busy with the hangar stuff.
Yeah, getting it out there. And again, that's one of those things. If you guys want to see stuff, let us know. And, we can probably adjust it.
We'll see what we can do.
Yep. From Wagner. Will fuel and ammo take up or be limited by cargo space on your ship?
Well, I don't think it's going to go in cargo space, although you could carry extra fuel as a cargo. You can, in the upgrade space that ships have, you can add additional magazines for physical weapons or add drop tanks, for instance, under the wings of the Hornet. We're going to probably allow that at some point. So it's not part of your cargo space, it's part of your extra space. But other than that, every ship has a default fuel tank that just has a certain capacity.
There you go. From Paulerin. I understand the Constellation is a multi-crew ship, but what happens if my friends are offline and I still want to fly? Will AI replace them, or can the captain actually handle the ship on his or her own?
Well, we've definitely said before that you can hire AI crew for your ship.
Right, definitely.
But, I mean, in the case of a multi-crew ship, you could, in theory, handle it yourself. Now, it's not going to be as effective without crew. For instance, there are avionics upgrades that would let your turrets be computer controlled. They just won't be as cool as, Luke and Han and the turrets.
Right. Are Luke and Han available to buy in these games? Coming soon,
Not
Luke
yet.
and Han.
With new names.
Right. Hook and Lawn. Coming soon to a turret near you. From this video from
No
Hark.
one will figure that out.
I know. Here's a video from Hark.
CIG Design HQ. This is Captain Hal Conover of the privateer ship Rocinante. I am requesting further detail on how Design HQ sees the command and control module working in a small fleet action. Will my CNC operator have a tactical overview of the battle space, and will the Rocinante have to remove our keel turret to mount the module? What level of detail can she give in instructions to our fighter escorts, and how much of a force modifier should our fighter wing expect when traveling with the CNC-equipped ship? CIG, this is Rocinante, out.
Okay, then.
That's a great question.
We get that a lot.
I know.
In fact.
I
People
think-
are really curious about
Yeah, I
CNC.
think Chris kind of answered some of that in last week's forum feedback, but
Yeah.
let's hear more.
I mean, basically, all those things are reasonable. We don't know all of the details yet, but yes, you're going to have some sort of tactical overview of the battle. Depending on whether we're doing voice communication in the game, you could probably give orders directly to the other pilots in your group if you're all on the same voice network. So there will be some degree of all of that. We don't know what the degree is yet. We still have to design a lot of that.
A very good question, by the way. Loved the green screen backdrop. Liked it a lot.
Very
From
nice.
Normandy, will upgrade modules for ships be universal, or will each ship have its own upgrade aftermarket?
Well, most of them are universal. You've already started to see that some in the hangar, where you
Yeah,
can switch the guns out to any of the different ships in your hangar, which
There
is
you go.
really great. Some of the upgrade slot pieces will change with the size of the ship, but most of them will be like batteries for weapons. Those will be pretty much universal. You can just plug them into any ship.
Okay, cool. From this name's pretty easy to Rocket Jockey, and I'm not butchering that one. From Rocket Jockey, will there be advanced tutorials in-game where we are able to learn more about complex flight skills and maneuvers, particularly those of an evasive or racing nature? For example, a Crazy Ivan or Barn Swallow.
Barn Swallow.
Well, those are two good movies. You got the Crazy Ivan, which was Hunt for Red October, and Barn Swallow was, of course, Firefly. So,
I thought there was Crazy Ivan and Firefly, too.
there was, but it was first in Hunt for Red October.
Firefly's cooler.
Yes, it was. Oh, Serenity. Mike just informed
That's
us from
the
the behind
movie.
the camera that Serenity.
Firefly was the show.
Yeah, well, he's right, probably.
Yeah, probably.
So anyway, will there be advanced tutorials?
Yes, simulator. The simulator will have some training stuff. Now, I don't know how advanced they'll get, and it may be one of those things where we keep adding content over time. But
True, and as we do add content, well, that's exactly where you'll go to learn how to fly and to engage, and to, as we add details or levels of detail complexity, that's where you're going to go learn it, and that's that'll be in their hangar,
it will.
perhaps.
Soonish, hopefully.
Soon. Redacted. I wouldn't say soon. It'll definitely be there.
As soon as in before the end of time.
Yeah, exactly. From Legante.
Hey, Wingman, it's Legante. As you're aware, prolonged isolation of deep space or planet side can have adverse effects on people. Having someone to interact with is important to help this. That being said, what kind of interaction among the crew is planned during low action times, such as traveling between 2 points?
There you go, Legante. At least he's going to win every time.
Watch out for the space madness.
Yeah, right, exactly. So what are we going to allow people to do on the long journeys?
We've talked before a little bit about having some sort of mini games, card playing, whatever in the game, but there won't be much available at launch time. That's one of those things you just continue to add in when you have a little time. So we'll have things that you can do interactively, and you can play around with the pieces of your ship, of course.
And if they got suggestions, send them in.
Send them in.
Obviously, they all want to go to the bathroom, it seems. That's been a big...
Really important.
I know, apparently so. You want to be able to go to the bathroom. From Jean or Zahn says, will there be cooling systems in ships? For instance, a laser gun could be damaged and overheat, eventually leading to an explosion. A cooling system could prevent that.
It could. In fact, if you look at the Aurora brochure, there was a cooling system on one of the Auroras by default. So yes, we do have coolers. They are part of the engine modifier system that's gotten moved into the generic upgrade space. So that may even be what their modifier bonus is that they got from the stretch goal.
So definitely a yes on that
Yes.
question. Well, that was an easy one. From Zertz, he says, can I select the basic hangar instead of the upgraded versions? We get this a lot, by the way. I may want to live out that Han Solo on the Fringe style fantasy in a gritty hangar as opposed to the high-priced deluxe look.
I don't think it was Han, it was Lon, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah,
Lon, yeah.
No, it's San Lolo.
Han Lolo, right.
So can they basically choose which hangar they want to be? I mean, if the ship fits, right?
Right, exactly. Not all ships fit in all hangars. I mean, a Constellation in that discount hangar would not be very cozy.
No.
But yeah, we've talked about that a lot. I'm not sure if we have a definite plan how we could do that, but maybe let you look at the ships that fit in the other hangars if you have a higher hangar. We still have to strategize on that a little bit.
We do, and we've built a modular systems to allow us to be flexible in those regards. So, we'll see how that goes. From Sarzu and M. Paulman. I met these people, by the way, in Germany. Awesome guys. They had their uniforms on and everything. So, take it away.
We are colonial movers, and we move anywhere. 18, 17,
wire! They're all back!
15, 14, 13,
Sometimes you just can't get rid of a bomb.
10, 9,
What are you doing?
7,
Hello.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's it. I'm taking the day off.
Incoming transmission.
What now?
Citizen, this is Colonel Snaplight from UE Navy. We have detected a military-grade explosion and shall trace it back to your ship. Cut your engines, lower your shields, and prepare to be boarded.
Detecting you, EE cruiser on an intercept course.
Dear Wingman, what happens if we get caught by UE authorities? Do we have to go to prison or can we just pay a fine? Get back to us.
What else should we throw out? What is that? That's only legal in Banu space!
Well, there you go.
Oh my.
I know. What did they have in that box, I wonder?
No idea.
So what happens when you get caught by the UEE?
Well, wouldn't it be neat if you had to go to prison and serve out your actual sentence? And okay, no, that would be awful.
that would
be awful.
That would be the definition of sucking.
That would suck. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna make you go to prison. There will probably be fines and penalties of some sort. We haven't really figured out exactly what they're gonna be, but don't get caught.
Don't get caught. That's the best way. All right, man. Thanks a lot, Rob. We want to join you now.
No problem.
Guess what time it is?
What time?
Guess what day it is? I know. I won't do the hump day thing.
not that day.
It's not that day. It's time for Ben Lesnick and the most valuable post.
Hey everybody, Ben Lesnick, your community manager, here with this week's most valuable post. This week the honor goes to jonoPorter for his amazing thread. So I downloaded the assets into a Sandbox Editor and ... This thread is just fantastic. What he's done is he's opened up the Star Citizen Hangar module, taken out all our stuff and stuck it into the Crytek editor. So he's putting auroras and beaches and forests, and it's resulted in all sorts of cool pictures. Awesome, isn't it? Fantastic job, Jono. Thank you so much. You're this week's most valuable post. Back to you, Wingman.
We have previously reported on the do-it-yourself spacesuit being built by Portland University anthropologist Cameron Smith. Apparently, his work has not gone unnoticed. Copenhagen Suborbitals has been building its own open-source manned rocket program, complete with microspace capsule. And Cameron Smith's spacesuit might just go along for the ride. The suit recently completed 10 days of testing in Copenhagen, including design reviews for dexterity and fit. Also, a capsule emergency escape plan. Mr. Smith has returned to the U.S. to build version 2.0 of his suit. Who knows? Perhaps you can take his designs and build your own version of his pressurized suit. And now, let's take a look back in time with This Week in Space.
September 1st, 1979. and NASA's Pioneer 11 space probe is hurtling towards a collision with Saturn's outer rings. Packed with instruments for exploring the interplanetary medium beyond Mars, and to closely examine the nature of Saturn, its rings and moons, Pioneer 11 is a veritable laboratory in space. But one of its most important goals is to blaze a trail through Saturn's ring plane for future Voyager probe missions. Is the ring safe to cross? Will Pioneer survive without serious damage? Watch out, a near miss with one of Saturn's small moons, Epimetheus, discovered only the day before. Now there's a close shave. Pioneer is through the rings, and Saturn's gravity well sends our little probe into deep space, where it will continue to radio its findings until its transmitter falls silent for all time. Pioneer 11, expanding the frontiers of man's understanding in space.
And that is your Wide World News. Hey guys, we thought it'd be kind of fun to take an inside look at the hangar and all the things we created, and so we've got a whole crew of people that did a lot of work on the hangar here. We got Ron, we got Forrest, we got Dan, Paul, we got Kyle and Mark. We just kind of want to talk a little about what the experience was and get in the hangar. Now you guys have seen the crowd's reaction to the hangar, and I know we've been killing it here. You guys have been putting in an insane amount of time. So what'd you think of the crowd's reaction? Ron, what'd you think?
Everybody loved it, man. Our chat was full for what, 3 days straight, leading up to the hangar and then through the patch. People have actually absolutely loved it.
Now, one of the things when you're doing game development, there's a lot of hours that get put in. We end up all putting in a little extra hours, but there's always one guy who seems to live at the shop who do you guys think that would be?
This is when I really wish that we had showers.
And so do we.
Showers, man. Everybody wishes we had showers because it got
and a laundry
stinky.
machine.
Because between the beer and the pizza and the coffee and the Red Bulls and the beer and the living here and not changing, it was pretty gross.
It was pretty gross. But you have to admit, Forrest.
Forrest was by far the stinkiest and the one who was here the longest.
Yeah, I remember coming in during the week. I'd get in about 8 o'clock in the morning. And Forrest would be sleeping under his desk,
like a little baby.
You didn't even. And of course, the reason why is you were pretty much the guy that was building the hangar.
Yeah, I felt like sent off 3 babies to college. It's scary, like watching people like play, because you're like, all the mistakes that you didn't get to yet. And it's like, oh god, work.
Don't go over there. Don't go over there.
Right, and it's
they're on the elevator. Oh, they're going down the other elevator. Can we try that? Can we test that?
That freelancer's ramp's pretty high.
Yeah.
So what do the hangar's not even done, right? We've got a lot more to do.
No, it's still evolving.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to admit, though, the very first reaction has been pretty good.
It's been great. Everyone enjoyed it a lot. Everything worked where everyone could actually get into their ship, get out of their ship. Everyone's really stoked. It was great. So it's really fun to watch.
About a week before that, I was convinced that the fans were going to burn this place to the ground. I was like, there's no way we're going to be able to do this.
You got in your seat,
this is not going to work.
Yeah,
there was so many crazy crash bugs and just stupid stuff that would happen, and it'd be like, I
fix
don't know
one
how
thing
this
and
is
3
going to
things
happen.
break. Yeah.
You know what, though?
And thank God we had Dan and Paul.
That's what I was going to. I was just going to say.
If we didn't have Dan and Paul, man, this game would be crap in a box.
So the point is, that's another thing. We've been lucky in that we've been able to get a few guys from actual Crytek that have helped us out. It wasn't just the guys in the Austin office that were killing themselves. It was the guys in the Santa Monica office, too. So, there's Dan on the left there, and there's Paul on the right. So, Dan, why don't you tell everybody what you kind of did for the hangar?
That elevator.
Yeah, just about killed you.
How many days did we go back and forth on that? It was just all that craziness with trying to actually get up, set up, and having the character falling through it all the time. We're having issues with animation. Oh, now it needs to be flow graph driven back and forth. So it was touch and go, especially like a few weeks out right before we're about to ship, right? And we're still clamoring for this elevator and trying to get that set up. So not only that, I was also working with Paul on this holotable as well, and Paul can tell you guys a little bit about that.
Yeah, there you go. Now, see, the holotable was not quite promised to be in the original thing. It was one of those things that we decided so stinking badass that we had to put it in there. And Paul, that's your baby, right?
Yeah, actually,
you decided, like, I think 2 weeks before we
Yeah.
they were like, hey, Paul, finish this solo table. And I was killing myself to build up the whole code behind it. I mean, the whole interaction, it's not like an easy thing, because there's nothing standardized. I mean, we could use a normal 2D menu, but Chris was always like, oh, I want to have this awesome holographic 3D model-driven table with animations here and transitions there. So I really killed myself to build this up. I think I finished it really 5 in the morning, one day before we released the Hangar, so it was really like super close to get this in. And yeah, and besides that, I had to always support Dan for all the interactions, like entering the ship and open doors and sit down on the seats. I also wrote a lot of code to make actually the interaction with the ship happen, so I always had to switch between, okay, more holo table work, and then Dan was like, oh, and I need to hear this door has to need functionality to go on and off. We don't have actually triggers for that, so I was like hacking something in for him really fast to get this working. Then back to the holo table, and yeah, just crazy 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was all over the place.
It was, you know, and the truth of the matter is, while we were there at the live event, I was still patching the machines 20 minutes after we'd opened the doors. I was running around all the different machines, patching them up, and praying to God that patch was the one that was going to completely work. And as you guys saw on the live stream, which we came out with on yesterday afternoon on Comlink, it worked out great, and it's all good. Now, Kyle, when the people see the first time they launch or try to get the hangar, that's your work.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk a little about what you did there?
So I worked on the build system, which takes the code and generates the actual game that you're going to play, and then we need to create a patch of that then gets distributed out. And so we didn't actually get like the CDN until like 2 weeks before we needed to actually use it. It was right before you guys were going out to Germany, and we were like uploading the patch and making sure you had it on the computers, and then we weren't sure if it was going to patch or not because we hadn't really tested it internally. And it's amazing how well the system worked. Like, it just started to work for you guys, and you guys were getting the patches. We were making builds here internally, and then uploading them, and you guys were downloading them just fine. And I mean, we had some pretty awesome statistics coming off of the CDN, like how many terabytes of patch data people were downloading once it finally came out.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Well, it's amazing. I mean, I think that's a testament, honestly, to the team that you guys have. Now, Mark, you were here a lot too. Because I remember getting the emails at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and
God, I was stinking, man. Oh, I was stinking, and my clothes. I'd come home like 5 a.m. and my wife would be sleeping in bed, and I'd, take off my clothes and get in bed, and she'd roll over and go, God, you need a shower so bad. It's like I couldn't even go to sleep because she would make me like go take a shower before But it was rough, but I am shocked. I'm shocked that it all happened like it did. I mean, that's just a testament to like how badass this team is. Because I mean, we were taking bets on Paul. Like, man, is he gonna get that table in? I don't know, man. You did it, man. You shocked the world. It was awesome. That was pretty incredible. It was funny because I would always have questions for Dan and Paul, but it would be like, I'd get on Skype and I'd type out the whole thing, and then I would back it up and say, all right, forget it. I'm not bothering them, man. If I bother them, they're not going to be able to do anything. Their heads are going to explode.
So the last 2 weeks, I think the coolest thing to see was every day, every time we did a nightly build, the next day, if you viewed the game, the improvements that you saw.
Oh, man.
Every night, it was like huge upgrades every night.
Yeah, and we're kind of going to see a little bit of that with the fans as we're going to do like micro upgrades as we go. I think we're doing a patch right now, I believe, today.
Yeah, we're testing
it out, right. And go on, Mark.
And then Dan was working on the constellation, and we didn't even see the constellation until the very last minute of the last day. And then we're like, is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? And then we're like, it goes up. We're like, oh my god! And it was like all in slow motion, and it was like beautiful, man. It was like, and then we're in the constellation. We're like, oh my god, we're in it. Don't touch anything. It's like, let's just look at it.
The funny part about people are like, they'd see things in the constellation and go, touch that, do that. You know, we were like, no, you know, we'll stick to what we know works.
I was like, oh man, I don't want this to blow up. Please. But it worked.
It's like the elevator. Nate didn't like the speed. He's like, let's change the speed. We probably got to work on. No. Leave it as it is.
It's working. Don't even look at it.
So now, Ron, we get to the schedule. Like you were the schedule master. You're the one who kind of owned everything going forward, and we've got a lot to do for version 2.
Ton to do. And I mean, we had a ton to do for version 1. We crammed in probably more than we should have.
Right.
But I mean, the team pulled it off, man. And like you said, we're working on another patch. We'll probably do 1 or 2 more before we do another entire version of the hangar coming up. So that's, what we're looking at right now is what exactly we can fit in the next couple months.
Right, and we're gonna get the feedback from the folks out there as to what they like and what they've been impressed with. Forrest, you've been messing around with some stuff with some flames and some
Evil Knievel.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
I call it buggy bowling.
Buggy bowling.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's good. Buggy bowling.
Copyrighted people.
Star Citizen buggy
bowling.
Buggy bowling.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So there you have it. It's kind of an inside look at what went on at Cloud Imperium in the last, basically last couple months before the hangar, and we've got another big thing coming up in the dogfighting, which is going to be led from LA and also supported here, and we've got pods all over, so we're going to be working hard to bring this game to you. All right, well, that's our show this week. I want to thank everybody here for joining us, and thanks to Ben Lesnick and Chris Roberts and Sandy and everybody, but most importantly, thanks to the pledgers and the subscribers who allow us to put this show out there. Coming up this week, well, there's a lot of patching and more patching. And if you've got something you want to see in the hangar, get it in there. We know Forrest has got something he wants to see, and you guys have seen just a small bit of that. We're also going to talk a little bit next week about pod-based development. We're now breaking teams into pod live teams, first-person shooter teams, dogfighting teams, all to bring and then we have an integration team, so it's all going up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll find out exactly what goes on. Submit your questions in the RSI forums. Join us for Wingman's Hangar 15 minutes after the show. And remember, if you want your stuff features on Wingman's Hangar, send it in. We just might use it. Where are we going to see them? In the verse.
Death Star plans are not in the main computer.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
You're damaged goods, lady.
Fuck you.
Holding her is dangerous. Word of this gets out, it could generate sympathy for the rebellion in the Senate.
She'll give away our position any chance she gets. She's your baggage. You fall behind, and you're on your own. We're going to play a wonderful game called Who is My Daddy, and What Does He Do?
To be or not to be? Not to be.
I have no doubt this boy is the offspring of Anakin Skywalker.
Come on, don't bullshit me. You give me the names of your drug suppliers and distributors, and I'll tell the judge what a nice cooperative killer you are. One of us is in deep trouble. We lack discipline. It's time now to turn this mush into muscles. You're a fucking choir boy instead of me! A choir boy! Stop being such a pussy!
I tell you, this station will be operational as planned.
No more complaining, no more to go to the bathroom, nothing!
But he asked the impossible.
There is no bathroom!
I've accepted the truth that you were once Anakin Skywalker, my father.
I'm a cybernetic organism, Cyberdyne Systems Model 101.
It is the name of your true self you've only forgotten.
You cold-blooded bastard! I'll tell you what I think of it. I live to see you eat that contract. But I hope you leave enough room for my fist, because I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine!
Do it! Do it!
Come on, kill me! I'm here! Come on! Do it now! Kill me! It's not a tumor. Not a tumor at all.